Hello, everybody. This is Julian, finally back on camera, reporting in from Bangkok, my condo, not the Death Star, although I'm considering moving back over there. I've got a really nice setup in this little closet, but I don't really like working here, so I'm wondering if I should change. I'm about to get another green screen that I could always set up out there, but it's not the best setup. So maybe I might just keep this here as like the official show area and then set up like a separate desk out there because I always find myself sitting out there. Anyway, not that important. I'm back in Bangkok, so I'm on camera. A lot has happened today. Obviously, we had a CPI report. Actually, a lot has happened, but actually nothing's happened, and we're going to get into that when we look at it in a second. First thing, new school term is open. I'm sure you've seen the emails. If you've been, waiting to take the school, I highly suggest, getting in there now, especially during a bear market. That is, ironically, we get the most signups during the top of the bull market. But when everybody should be learning is in the bear market. So then they can buy when things are really low and they know to hold and when to sell at the top of the bull market. But ironically, everybody disappears. Anyway, school is open. Chris, why don't you shrink me down? And you'll see at the top of the site in the big yellow bar that the school is open. We're going to, do the standard, look at the dashboard, see what's going on with the different breadth indexes. So I think I'm shrunk. Should be able to see my screen. You can see S&P 500 breadths just charging full on ahead, nonstop insanity since basically the end of December. No surprise there that we keep rallying higher. You look at the crypto breath, same thing. Although we did cross over on the universe, but you can see there's no real M's coming in at all yet. Which is interesting because if we also look at the investor sentiment survey, which is something I like to follow, you can see what's been going on, that we still have way too many people that are bearish. So the market, until we get more bullish participants and less bearish, I mean, you can see it's slowly changing. Like 50% were bearish before in the second to last week of December, but now it's only 39.9. I want to see this below 30, and then we can start seeing a turnaround. But right now, the market's going to keep going after that liquidity. You guys see me talking in the chat all the time. Like, the market goes after where there is liquidity. So if most of the market participants are bearish, it's going to go up. While if most of them are bullish, it's going to likely go down. Unless the Fed is juicing the market, then it can just keep going up even while everyone's bullish because the Fed is providing the liquidity. But right now, it's basically dog eat dog, where the market has to hunt other traders to make a profit. The Fed is not giving the market money anymore. We can also look at open interest, max pain. So today, max pain was 397 on the S&P. It can't go above 4,000. That might be why it's sitting in between this area, stuck in between 390 and 400. If we go to tomorrow's options expiry, we've got, again, we've got 395, 400, and a big wall at 380. So somewhere between 400 and 380 is likely where we'll end up. Although when I see this kind of low call volume compared to puts, normally it means the market is going to go higher, which sucks because when we get to my chart, you'll see that I didn't want to see the market go much higher than where we are right now. But there is definitely potential. Let's see. Next week, I think, is a big monthly options expiry, the 20th. Let's see what that looks like. Although it'll probably change by then, but let's look at it quickly. I mean, as you'd expect, 400 big calls at 400, big puts at 390, put wall at 380. So definitely not going to see below 380, I think, before next week. I'll be surprised if we see that. Calls probably, we can probably run up to 410. I think we won't get past 415, that 4150. That's kind of your range. It might be kept under 400, but it's really not too many calls. It's up here, these two, where I think it'll run into issues. But here, it could stick around. I mean, I'm not getting anything clear from this. I've done a lot of studies on these, and normally it's not too accurate until about the day or second day before that expiry. So that's why I like to look at like the 13th. This is a lot more accurate. Usually when I see something like this, it means the market's going to rally. You often want to see calls and puts equal on both sides, but here we have a lot of puts and almost no calls. So the market's going to push to those calls, which means rally. Okay, so that's kind of my thoughts on what's going on with the breadth, what's going on with sentiment from traders. As far as CPI today, 6.5 came in exactly as expected. So what does the market do? Well, it does almost nothing. It creates some liquidity, hunted liquidity on both sides. Let me change to my charts and we'll talk about that. Okay, share. Of course, we break out of the triangle, by the way, right? Right as I'm starting this stream. I've been trading this on the short time frame, day trading it a little bit before the show for the past 2 hours. And I was waiting for this breakout. And then it happened like literally right before we started the show. And I'm like, oh, I can't trade it while I'm doing the show. So it's funny how this always happens. It always happens to me. A big breakout happens right when I have to do the show, and I miss the trade, but it's okay. I don't mind. So look, this is what happened. The CPI came out, right? Here's CPI 830. We had a huge dump. Why did we get a huge dump at first? Because let me go to a 15-minute chart. They wanted to hunt all the liquidity. They took out all the stops going back over 24 hours. Okay, they took out everything. Bounced back, took everybody out in the highs. Anybody that people probably started shorting down here and thought we were going to go lower. So then they went in the other direction, took out the highs. Then again, went the other direction, took out the lows. Not completely, but almost. And finally, we're turning around and we're taking out the highs again, going higher. Because of why? Because too many market participants are still bearish. And this is the path where there's the most liquidity, at least in the short term. Now, if we go to a higher time frame, what is going on? So this was my plan. Let's go to a 3-day chart. Okay. You can see on the RSI, we're still in a downtrend. Still in that downtrend, still in my downtrending parallel channel. Let's make this a bit bigger. Let's do a F11. And you can see this is our wave 1. Here's our wave 2 rebound. Wave 2 rebound could go as high as 4,030, but even up to 4,100. I've talked about this in the chat. We could see something like this where it comes up. I don't like seeing something this high. It's definitely not ideal from an Elliott wave perspective. Ideally, wave 2 should have ended down here, but it's going a bit further, and that's just because the market is again hunting liquidity. So I don't want to see a daily close above 4,035. If we get a daily close above that, I've got to consider a bullish case. I have to think about it and start potentially hunting longs and no longer looking at bearish scenarios. As everybody knows that's been following me, I'm mostly looking at bear cases in the market. However, there are too many people that are bearish. That's the problem. So the market is doing the opposite. This is a 3-day chart. Maybe we'll go to a daily chart. I don't want to see a daily close above 4,040 or so. Anything above that kind of invalidates the whole bear theory. But if this can hold on and we don't push too much further, then we can see now if I draw a daily, by the way, a daily RSI, you can see we're also pushing up right against. I'm going to change this. We don't need to see this line here. Settings, visibility. I want to see it only on a 3. Okay. So you can see even on the daily, we're running into this RSI resistance level, getting rejected. 4,000 area, big wall. If we push through this and we close higher, it is a bull sign, not only on RSI, but also on this down trending parallel channel. Those are the two scenarios. Sorry, not two scenarios. I feel like I'm Joe Biden right now. It's honestly, I drank a coffee about 5 hours ago. Worked really well for those 5 hours, felt amazing. And then right at 12, I'm starting to crash a bit. I'm getting sleepy. It's midnight here. And technically it's 2 a.m. Japan time. I've mostly adjusted back to Thailand time, but I was going to bed at like 9 p.m. for a couple days. Now I'm okay with, I'm normally going to bed 10:30, 11. So that's why I had the coffee to stay up till, 1 a.m., 1:30. And hopefully tomorrow I don't sleep too late. Anyway, not important. Important thing is market looks like it wants to rally still. If we go to a 4-hour chart, you've got these big reversals, not what I wanted to see. I didn't want to see this. I wanted to see a reversal to the downside. I don't want to see any higher movements. I'm tired of this up only, seemingly up only slash stagnant market. This is just stagnant. This is up only. We do have a kind of a ascending wedge, which is a bearish pattern. So the market could be stuck in this ascending wedge, and we could get something like this, right? Where we just stay in this wedge until eventually we break to the downside. Right now, everything is looking extremely bullish, though. Even the weekly on my RSI down here, everything in the green, which is shocking considering I think most people would say would think that we're in like some kind of bear, and yet the market is consistently rallying, and not really heading to the downside. I mean, if we look at the Dow Jones, especially TGI, this is very surprising to me. Go to a weekly chart. I mean, look at this. This really puts the entire bear case into question, because like these were the highs, 36,400 or so. We're at only 30. We're at 34,200. It's only, what is the price difference here? Price range. So from here, the highs down to where we are is only 6%. Dow Jones only down 6%. Insane. Absolutely insane that there really isn't. I mean, the bear market is over basically for the Dow Jones. So, you know, that's one thing that's very interesting. You can see we had this downtrending line slash channel here, and we broke out, we tagged the other side, and now we're bouncing higher. And realistically, we could ABCD right up to here. 38,500 new highs. I mean, that's what this is kind of targeting right now. On a daily chart, it looks very bullish. See that? Complete super bullish on the Dow Jones. No denying that at all. Entry point was down here at the retest, or you could have, you know, drawn like this and taken with RSI and on the retest here. So also we've got we had a W down here, and 4.669 is up here, 36,200 basically at the highs. Shocking to me how different it is from the S&P. At least in the S&P, we still have, you know, a bear trend intact. Now, why do I not want the bear to end? I mean, some people are like, okay, well, let's get back to a bull. We've had almost a year of a bear. Well, for me, I don't think a lot of things are down that much. I feel like, you know, I wanted to buy at some bargain prices, and we're only on the S&P, we're only down 15%, and we only went down a maximum of, you know, if we take like an average here of 20%. I wanted to see like a 50% drop, at least a 50% drop. But all we got is a measly 25%. 50% drop would have been all the way down. We went to 4,800, so 2,400. It would have been right down here to the COVID lows, right here, where we're back in 2018, stuff like that. But right now, that's kind of in question. I'm not sure if we're going to get my fifth wave target, or we might have possibly completed it right here. This could have been the completion. I would like to see us come down here and tag this level again, but you know, potentially we might not. I'm sorry, this daily brief isn't too clear. The market is extremely unclear right now. You can see the Dow Jones is already bullish. The S&P is still bearish for me. This 3-day has not broken out. We're still in this downtrend. Let me go back. Daily still in a downtrend, but trying to break out. So here's your downtrend line, right? It looks like it's trying to break out higher, but we're still in this downtrend. I have some shorts, mostly on spot, that I'm holding. Thank God I don't have too many options, because what's happening right now is the VIX is getting absolutely destroyed. Like the VIX dropped over the last, just the past day. Let's just look at the past 3 days. How much did the VIX drop? And this kills options. VIX dropped almost 15%. And it's starting to break below my uptrending parallel channel here. Right here. And we're starting to break below. I think I can adjust the channel a little bit, but I don't want to adjust too much. Just kind of like that. Right there. We're basically tagging the bottom of the parallel channel. If I go to a daily chart with RSI, it's not too clear. Let's look at like a weekly, for example. You look at a weekly on the VIX, see it's actually breaking down. If we break down from this, it could go all the way down to like $8, $10. And that's going to be a huge bull signal for the rest of the market. Same thing with the dollar. You know, if we go to the dollar and we look at like a 3-day chart, you know, dollar is just tumbling and it's not looking great. I talked about this on the previous show that there were different conflicting signals, some bear, some bull, depending on what asset you looked at. And the dollar was one of the ones that concerned me because it looked like it was bottoming. Like by all intents and purposes, it should be bottoming, right? We're on the other side of the RSI downtrend line. Maybe we're just doing a tag. We're in, let me go to a weekly. You'll see this. This is the uptrending parallel channel. This is the bottom half's trend line. I locked it in. We're breaking down from that trend line. We're tagging this high as well. So major resistance area on the US dollar. If we drop below this, we close below this area. Let me go to a daily. If we can't rebound and close above this, and keep in mind, we could sit down here and we could do this and it'd be like a fake out and then reverse. If we can't reverse from this, the downside is pretty huge, right? We could drop right down here and then gold will just keep going up and S&P will continue to go up and everything else denominated in dollars will go higher and the dollar will drop off a cliff. And if you're like what I believe most, I do think this is the maximum pain trade possibly. Most retail traders are probably not long stocks right now. I think they sold I think I read somewhere, don't quote me on this, but I think I read somewhere that they sold the most monetary value of stocks in the past like 2 weeks than they ever have before in history. I could be wrong. I'd have to look it up. I'll look it up later, maybe, and post it tomorrow. But that means they're mostly holding cash. So how do you destroy retail traders even more? How do we create max pain? Well, you now destroy the dollar and you run all the assets up while nobody's long and everybody's basically in dollars or treasury bonds, which are evaluated in dollars. So you just destroy the dollar and you rally assets. Something that could happen. I hope it doesn't. I prefer that this is a bit of a fake out. We get to a maximum of 4,035, 4,100 on an intraday basis. And then we roll over to complete the next level of my wave, which is a wave 3 to the downside at 3,600 area. I guess we got to see. This looks extremely bullish, but I can't discount the fact that we are in what I consider a bear market still. And, you know, this is a ascending wedge, which is also bearish. I wish I had some kind of trade for you guys. I don't have a trade. There really is nothing here. It's kind of just wait and see. I'm not going to do anything in this market. I'm just going to, I think there's going to be nothing to be done until probably next week. This was a big nothing burger, just destroying the VIX, destroying all the puts and calls. And now it's probably just going to sit up here until Monday. I don't know if we have any news coming out next week. Let me see. Do we have any further news? Let's see. Let me check something. Let me check Forex Factory. Let's see. Friday, Saturday. We do have consumer sentiment survey tomorrow and Monday, nothing Monday, but we have Canadian CPI and the manufacturing index. So manufacturing index. And then I think we do have some earnings coming out or something. BOJ outlook report, monetary policy statement from Japan. Core retail sales, core PPI, retail sales. So a bunch of stuff on Wednesday next week. Wednesday could be the catalyst. We could just sit up here until then, just keep destroying the VIX. That really is the big, I could see this pushing just a little bit lower. Like, why not take out this low, this low, this low, take out all the lows, go to the lowest level it's been in all of 2022. Really take everyone out before it can reverse. I could definitely see that happening. Okay, so look at the 4 hour. This is a huge reversal in the 4 hour. This is not what I want to see as a bear. Okay, so let's look at a couple other stocks. So Nvidia, this was my big downtrend line on Nvidia. Actually, I want to adjust it a little bit. Unlock it. I don't know why it's a little bit off. Maybe we go to a daily chart. Yeah, on the daily chart, it's right. So this was my downtrend line on Nvidia. I don't like that we're breaking out here. Wait, it is breaking out from my downtrending parallel channel. I don't like that. If I look at other tech names, Meta, for example, also broke out here from this downtrend quite a while ago. We had a 9 come in. I was expecting some kind of reversal. We had a 9 end divergence coming in. Nothing, no reversal at all. Just continuing higher. You can see if we go to a 3-day chart, weekly. This is the top of a RSI downtrend on the weekly, but here's your other RSI that would have been like this. And here was your breakout right here at 110 and move higher. Right like that. So again, pushing higher, looking extremely bullish. I mean, it's so bullish that everything is overbought except for the weekly, which is still under our 50 area. What other tech stocks? Looked at Nvidia, Facebook. Maybe look at Apple quickly. Apple was at the lows, but it's reversing here. If you look at it like this, Apple's still in a bit of a downtrend on the weekly, but on a daily, how do we look on the daily? Kind of breaking out a bit there, right? But still below this channel and still within its parallel channel, downtrending parallel channel. So Apple looks like, still kind of bearish, but it is breaking out here today. So if we close up here, it's a bit more bullish. We are still below my moving average. So you see what I mean by, like, there are a lot of conflicting things, are not in sync with each other. Meta looks bullish, Nvidia looks bullish, all this stuff is breaking out. But meanwhile, something like Apple is not super bullish yet. It's getting there, but it's not. And same like S&P is not, it's bullish, but not crazy bullish like the Dow Jones is. I mean, Dow Jones is bullish on another level. Same with like Boeing, for example. Like I did not expect this from Boeing, but Boeing is nonstop to the upside. And this is basically your W. It confirmed a massive W. And the target for a 4.669 chaos level is all the way up here at 360. 360 is the target for Boeing. Absolutely nuts. And you can see here was your breakout, right, at 180. And same with RSI. If I draw RSI, right, here's your different downtrend lines. Here's the breakout right here. And it's just been on a tear since then. But this was your W, confirmed W. And now we're pointing to a target of 358, basically right back at the highs. And if I even try to draw some like downtrend lines here, like this is another downtrend line. We just rode this downtrend line all the way down. That tagged it, created a W, and took off. This is just showing how things are not at all in sync. Not even a little bit. And I think it's being done on purpose. It's kind of like, it reminds me of like shitcoins, like Boeing and Meta and all these are all different altcoins. And maybe the S&P is like Bitcoin or something. And all the altcoins are like popping off at different times while the S&P is staying in this kind of semi-bearish state just to just to fool retail traders into thinking that the bull market is not back and making sure that they don't long any of the names. Possibility. I think it's a very strong possibility. You can see going up 3%, just nonstop. Overbought on every time frame, weekly, daily, 12-hour, 4-hour, every single time frame. It's overbought. I'm shocked that there's been no pullback. You've got a 9 that came in. You've got divergence that's coming in, and it's just been levitating higher. No trade setup again. I really don't have any good trade setups because I think there's just too many conflicting signals. And it is an extremely difficult trading environment. Let's just switch over. I talked about the US dollar. I mean, it has to rebound here. It can't close down here, or, there's an entire paradigm shift in my opinion. And my personal strategy changes completely. I would like to see some kind of bounce. All right, so that's US dollar. Let's look at gold. Gold's been insane. Yeah, so here's gold. Just again, similar to like that Boeing chart where it just won't stop. Go to a weekly. So this is the uptrending parallel channel on gold that I drew a while ago. I'm thinking that we could get a reversal at this midpoint here at 1915. I'm very surprised we did not get any kind of pause or reversal when we hit this 9. Oftentimes gold pauses or reverses when it hits these 7, 8, and 9 levels. You can see here, here's a 9, it paused at least. Here was a 9, it did pause and then rallied again. Here was a 9, it paused and then reversed. This one just keeps pushing higher. And if we look at RSI here, right, take it from this trend line right here, we are kind of hitting the top of this trend line and pushing. Oops. Delete that, delete that, delete that. Pushing through, insanely enough. This is just straight up, nonstop. I didn't expect this with gold. I had hoped we would get some kind of pullback in this 1800 area back down to this 1600 area. And it just hasn't given anyone a chance. I mean, what I expected initially was this breakout to pull back, and this is where I was going to enter my long, and I just didn't get that entry. And I think the market did that on purpose. It just basically gapped up, not gapped, but moved very quickly up over 100 points and left everyone hanging. I mean, Bitcoin's done it too before, where it just moves rapidly through a zone and everybody waits for it to come back and it never comes back. That's essentially what gold did. And it's been doing this like little ascending wedge pattern, which I think it broke out of. This is also normally a bearish pattern, but what did it do? It broke out bullishly. So gold is really making sure that anybody who was hoping to be bullish on gold and buy gold and was looking at it from a trading perspective did not get long gold, that they are not holding gold. Very, very tricky. There was a W here that confirmed, by the way. And let's see where that 4.669 level pointed to. Right here at basically 1900. So interesting to see that we are tagging that level, and we've taken out the June level of gold. So this could be a pause area, but really it's about the US dollar. The US dollar has to reverse. Otherwise, gold could just continue. All right, so that's gold. Silver. I've seen a bunch of people talking about silver lately. Why don't we take a look at silver? Silver looks not nearly as good as gold. So silver kind of topping out here. You can see, I'm not sure why my parallel channel is drawn like that, but I would prefer it kind of like this. Yeah, that makes a bit more sense. You can see how silver is just in this downtrending parallel channel in a way. And I think may have already, let me see something here. So this is where how I would draw this. Like that it didn't hit the 4.669 level, but it definitely doesn't look nearly as good as gold. I've got this downtrend right here that is trying to push above, but if US dollar reverses, it should head lower. Everything's green again, same like gold, but not overbought like gold is. I don't have any clear trade for this. It looks like it's topping out or at least pausing. If there is a pullback, I would hunt entries to get long. But I really want to see a pop in the US dollar, a pullback in the S&P, all of that. I want everything in sync before I can take a trade or recommend any trades with something like this. I don't have any clear signals. I mean, you can even look at RSI like on any of these timeframes, 4 hour, 8 hour, 1 hour, when it's just oscillating like this between the green and the red area and kind of just moving around the VIP line. And like on a 4 hour and 8 hour, it's basically just sitting at the VIP line. That's my no trade area. That means that the market's just going to sit there and hunt liquidity on both sides. It's not trending in any direction. And that's what I found is the worst time to trade. And when I really avoid trading because it's just sitting here, treading water, waiting for you to enter a trade and then stop you out on the other side. Okay, so that's silver. No trades for me. Kind of a common theme at this point, I feel like, in this daily brief, no trades. What else do I want to talk about? Let's look at oil quickly. So I had my Elliott waves where I originally thought we would get a breakdown, but that hasn't happened. We've kind of just been sitting in this parallel channel. Go back to a daily chart. So this is your, you can see we are still below my RSI downtrend line, just barely. Same like how we're below this EMA 50 EMA and also my downtrending parallel channel. This could just be an extended 2 or it's just sitting here. That's what a wave 2 can do. And it's going to break down at some point. So this trade is still valid. I think there is potentially short. Here's an 8 coming in, potentially short opportunity here. I don't see anything wrong with taking a short in this area, but just be careful because there could be a liquidity punch up to here, hunt stops, and then a dump. And the dump is not guaranteed. Everything I'm kind of questioning everything at this point, and I think taking any trades right now is very, very risky. But if you were inclined to take an oil trade, you could short here and then set another short for up here and set your ultimate stop somewhere up in this area, and then target the midpoint. So target the midpoint here at 67, and then again target 54. Those are your 2 target areas. So maybe take 50% here and the other 50% down here. Just an idea for an oil trade. I'm actually going to set some alerts. If we get a move above 79.5, I will hunt some things, and let's set another alert if we go below 76, just for me to take a peek at it. All right, so that's oil. I figure we'll go to the crypto market now. Yeah, look at this crypto market dump and then lift off. Insanity. Serious lift off in crypto. You can see this was my parallel channel. I'm a little bit annoyed about this as well, because we are now on the other side of this parallel channel and we didn't hit my ultimate low. My ultimate low is down here. I wanted to see another 30% drop, maybe 40 to 50% in alts, and it didn't happen. And now we're on the other side of my parallel channel. Now, if I in my RSI trend line here, you can see we're breaking out. I can do a second one right like that, right? And we're still breaking out. We're overbought on every time frame except the weekly, which is still bearish a little bit. And you can see on the weekly here, still a little bit bearish, but you can see we're breaking out from my RSI downtrend. We do have this trend channel right here that we haven't pushed through. So you have to be careful. There could be this rejection, something like this, and then a move down, or we just push up. I'm going to wait for some kind of W on the other side of this trend line. I think that's the safest way to approach this, is to wait for that weekly W on the other side before getting too insanely bullish. I just have a hard time accepting that this bear market is totally over. Just my perspective. You did get a breakout on the daily. If you're trading the daily chart, this was a very nice breakout right here. This is your signal to go long. Great trade. Let me go to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Maybe you can relate to that a little bit better than this total. I just like to look at the total because I feel like it provides better signals. You can see RSI just went absolutely crazy with the price of Bitcoin. Delete some of these lines. Delete. And actually, this is the range down here that we sat and consolidated in for a bit. Right, that. Yeah. Okay. And you can see this targets 19,400 area, which lines up with this entire liquidity area. Yeah, I could see, I mean, Bitcoin took out all the highs here. It could push as high as 22, take out everything all the way up to here. If we go to a daily chart and I look at the entire range kind of since June, and we put our fibs from the low to the high, we're not even at 38.2 yet. Right, so 38.2 is right here, 19,170. That could be one rejection point. So tag that, reject, and then we can go up to this 78.6, 88.6 area. That's often a rejection point. Perhaps we push higher, take out the highs, and then roll over. Two possible scenarios. I think it's a bit risky to get in now. I do think that, you know, if you were going to enter, you would have entered on that daily breakout. And this daily always could pull back and close below this trend line. Another springboard is if we close up here, retest, and then you buy the retest. That's another potential. If you get the retest, it could just do a gold where it just spikes up and then sits here and you wait forever for that retest and it never happens. And then it finally moves up and you miss the whole move. Very potential for that to happen as well. Really depends on the US dollar and S&P. I think if they roll over, then crypto will as well. But if they keep rallying, then crypto is going to follow, as you know, as kind of has been the case for a while. Although there's a lot of stuff disconnecting, so who knows? Maybe that's not the case anymore. But I think, you know, that's kind of the scenario. I don't have a trade, unfortunately. I wish I did, but I just can't give a trade when something's gone parabolic like this. I mean, the only entry was down here at 1700. Now we've gone completely parabolic. We're running into resistance areas. I think there's more downside risk than upside potential. So I would just say be careful with any kind of longs. Let's look at Ethereum quickly. So Ethereum broke out of my parallel channel as well. See right here, this was my downtrending parallel channel. We are on the other side of it. This was a daily chart. I'm sorry, guys. Oh. This was your potential long entry confirmation right here at 1250. And it's just kind of taking off from there. You know, how much have we moved since then? Yeah, it's up 14%. Not bad. It's just completely vertical. A little bit scary, in my opinion. We go to a weekly. You can see the weekly. It was like that. It's been on the other side of this downtrend line for a while. Here was kind of your W and confirmation. If we go back to a 3-day, and we say that this is your W, where does 4.669 points to like 1900 area, 1860. Definitely could see that, especially if everything else confirms. But tread carefully, because if the S&P just dumps from here and gets its reversal, I don't see why crypto can't either. I mean, you also have this kind of 3-day line. This can pull back and reverse. There is always that potential. I'm not really in any long trades in crypto. I have some small spot longs, but not a lot at all. Maybe like 15% total of what I could do. So I'm in no hurry, and I still want to see this lower price around 800. Disappointed, really disappointed we didn't get that, but maybe there's still potential that it can happen and drop like that. But I wouldn't, now everything is in question. As I said, I feel like a broken record kind of saying some of this stuff. All right, so that's Ethereum. I don't have, can you take a look at open buy wrapped ether? Okay. Some request open wrapped ether. Okay, so this, I guess. Not really much data on this one. Okay. Yeah, it's not a bad buy down in this area. It's coming down and touching the support zone, I guess. I don't know anything about this. For me, I don't buy coins that are less than a year old. I just don't trust them. I don't trust them at all. So Brian on YouTube, with FTX news, we might find entire crypto market rallies hard here. Okay, I guess Brian knows about some kind of FTX news. I don't. FTX news. Let's see. FTX. FTX collapsed. Crypto giant recovers over 5 billion of assets. Liquid assets. Okay. I wonder where they recovered it from. I'm not sure that. I mean, I'm not sure if that would result in a rally, because if the funds get distributed and everybody sells and I mean, the question is it says liquid cryptocurrency and liquid investment securities. So, and sell non-strategic investments had a book value of 4.6 billion. So, could it possibly send the market lower though, if people are expecting that FTX is going to start selling everything and then distributing whatever the assets are that they hold? It's the network being used by Chat GPT. Okay. Well, I still don't like a coin that's less than, it's only like barely 2 months old. I'm not a fan. I don't even like looking at this. I prefer established coins rather than shit coins. Natural gas. Okay, we can look at natural gas. I don't even know what the symbol for natural gas is. I guess we'll just, natural gas futures. Okay. So, okay, weekly. 2 week. Oh, wow. Look at this breakdown. Boom. Looking very bearish. Look at a weekly chart. Very bearish breakdown on natural gas. And this is your range, right? With fibs. So 88.6 is here. So it could come down all the way to 198.96. Let's look at a daily. Daily is reversing a bit though, getting a bit of a W, but you're kind of embedded in this red zone. So this is all very bearish to me. I think any rallies should be shorted. I would be shorting any kind of rally and looking for reversals on the lower time frames. So something like a 1 hour time frame, right? You could be looking for potential reversal here. 1 hour, 8 hour, 12 hour. Yeah, this is all super bearish. 15-minute. I mean, even a tag, something you could do is like, this could be a trade, right? So you just short there all the way to the lows. So your stop right here, and that's a potential trade with a risk reward of 5-to-1. So you can be wrong 5 times. And as long as you're right on the 5th time, you still make a nice profit. But I would watch something like a 4 hour time frame. It looks like it's trying to do a bit of a reversal. So I would let the reversal complete and then look for divergences on the other side to get short, potentially up in this area, the 61.8 area, or even 50%. Those are areas you could consider shorting. I think we can probably draw some kind of downtrending parallel channel here. Something like this, right? And this could be like your midpoint. So I like shorts up in this area and then onto the downside move. This is kind of like an ABCD right here. Oops. And this points to downside of 232. You also had a head and shoulders right here that confirmed. You could also call it an M. So if that's your M, this also points to around 260 to 230 area as a bottom. Another M right here, right? So that's an M that confirmed as well. So where does that point to? All the way down at -11. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, quite bearish. I would be looking for little rallies to short. So that's my viewpoint on natural gas. Forest real estate on YouTube. What about yield curve inversion? What about yield curve inversion? Could that bring the market down to your dollar? Yeah, so we do have a yield curve inversion. Let me bring up stock charts. That's something we haven't talked about in a while. Yield curve. Dynamic yield curve. Loading. Last I checked, we had a yield curve inversion, but right now, do we still have that? I'm trying to find the yield curve, stock charts, yield curve. I'm guessing you're still looking at my trading screen though. Trying to find the live dynamic yield curve. Not easy to find these days for some reason. Yeah. So there is a yield curve inversion. And we can see how it's kind of been. Let me share. Let me change to share. Okay. Yeah. So here's the yield curve. Stockcharts.com/free chart/yield curve. And you can see if I get rid of the trail length, this is where we're at. So yield curve inversion is when like 3-month is higher than the 30-year. And we've had this for quite a while. As you can see by the red trail length, we've kind of been coming down. Generally, it's a bearish sign for the market. When is the next Fed? Market probably tops through that. Well, if I go to Forex Factory, when does Powell talk next? BOJ outlook report, core retail, PPI, blah, blah, blah. Let's keep going. FOMC, flash services, BOC press conference, core PCE price index. Oh, Fed doesn't talk for a while. Nothing on FOMC statement. Here's FOMC statement. So February 2nd, FOMC press conference. Maybe there, unless I missed one, but I think there, February 2nd, Brian. Can you check ARPA and AR? ARPA and AR. Okay. ARPA and AR first, and then Litecoin. ARPA USDT. Man, I hate all these random shitcoins. Not gonna lie, I really hate shitcoins. Although at least this one's been around for more than a month. So let's see. Let me do a fib. Wow, look at how this. Oh, you're still seeing. Okay, wait. Switching again back to my chart. Thank you, Chris. Okay, back on my chart. So we came down to 88.6 level. This is traditional reload area for extremely oversold names. If we go to a 2-week chart, it does look like it's kind of Wing. You had an 8 and 9 come in. Nice W here. 3-day. Yeah, even on the 3-day, right? So RSI is like this, breaking out. However, no, even on the daily, it looks pretty good, honestly. Okay, like this. Nothing. Consider this like a potential stopping point. But on a daily chart, it looks pretty good. I think you could also do some fibs right here, this, and I can reverse them. And target would be up here at this 0.8 area zone. If this breaks out of this high right here and confirms, that's kind of like your W confirmation. And you could say that this is kind of your target right up here at 0.05 area. Take out these highs. So consider setting sells up there if it does take off. I don't really like trading these type of coins, just not my style. But potentially could go up there. It looks very bullish. So not bad. Okay, which is the other one? AR USDT. This one doesn't look nearly as good. It does look like it's just sitting here consolidating. It did break the lows, took out every stop down here. I mean, potentially, who knows? If you want to take a long on this, fine. But consider setting some stells at like 15 to 18, this top area. Maybe just sell half on a double and, you know, do something like this. If you're going to long here, set your stop right below the lows and set your target right here, at least for 50%, 100% return. 3-to-1 risk reward, not bad. I think there are better opportunities out there, but it's not bad. If you want to do a little lady nibble or something and wait to see if it pops. Could you look at Litecoin? Yeah, sure. I forgot that we're public today. I think we're public. This is my first maybe public show. I might have done one last week. I can't remember. But I have to remember to be even more prepared. This time I'm not that prepared. I didn't shave. I didn't like do my hair, anything. I was just focused on watching the CPI. I was like, why are we getting so many questions this time? Oh, because we're public. All right, Litecoin. Wow. Holy crap. Very bullish looking. Big breakout here. This was your long opportunity here at the $60 area. Also the fact that we broke out on the other side of this downtrend line. We do have this parallel channel that I drew, this downtrending parallel channel that I drew quite a while ago, like that. Down here. And this could be like your midpoint 180 area. But again, I think a lot of this has to do with what the S&P 500 does. I'm not going to get too excited about some of these names. I think if you're not already long, it's a bit late to consider longs. You're going to run into some trouble here with Litecoin. I'm a little bit cautious. Let me see what Chaos tells us. Chaos is pointing to 130. Potentially, you know, so if 1.618 was hit here, 2.618 in this area would make sense. And then 4.669 right above all this liquidity would make sense. You also could say that there's an ABCD here, right? Like that points to that 2.618 level. This even could be a, you know, what if we did like an Elliott wave? 1, 2, pull back, and now you're in like stage 3, which could take you up to this area. And then you get your pullback 4, and then 5 here. Very real potential that's what could happen with Litecoin. If you're considering longs, let me put a parallel channel here. And that's the top of our channel. If you're considering longs, hunt longs down here in this area. A little bit lower time frame. Let's see what RSI is showing us. I want to see a pullback. If I can get some kind of pullback, you can see how they took out all the liquidity on the highs for any shorts right here. I'd love to see a pullback here and then consider longs down here. And then I can set a tight stop, right? So something like this. Stop right there. And my target could be there, or I could go all the way up to here. Even just 2.618, where it would likely stop. 8-to-1 risk reward ratio. I don't really want a long right here. Just I want to see some type of pullback into a major support area, while instead I feel like we are at a resistance, along with like the S&P and things, everything like that. You really have to pay attention to what's going on with the S&P. I think it affects crypto a lot. And if the S&P is at a standstill or pulling back, then there's a higher chance that whatever crypto coin you're looking at may be pulling back as well. Daily is so strong for this though. Daily is super strong. Weekly super strong. You know, the only thing that you have to do is kind of look for pullbacks and just long the pullbacks. So you can see it looks like it wants the pullback. If you can even get a pullback down to 77, you could start dollar cost averaging in all the way down to 71 and then set your stop below 68. I think a stop down here is pretty safe below this 68, 67 area. You know, kind of stagger your stops just like how you stagger your longs. So say you do your first long at 75, then 73, then 71, and then you set your stops at right here, 60, maybe 68, 67, 65, something like that, just in case some of them get hit, but you're not totally taken out of the position. Just something to consider. It is pretty overbought on the daily chart. So you have to be careful with that. I think the time to get long in Litecoin was back here at 64 and 60. Those were your times to get long. Now it's a bit overextended, and you're kind of late to the party, to be honest. But there's this potential Elliott wave setup right here that it could potentially follow. But don't take this with a grain of salt. Elliott wave is not perfect and it's very subjective. I just use it to kind of try to provide a general price path, but you know, it doesn't always follow it. And I would say it follows it probably less than 50% of the time. When it does though, it's really cool and it looks like magic. But I don't put too much emphasis on like, this is definitely going to happen. So just keep that in mind. If we are actually in a wave 3 though, there shouldn't be much pullback here. It should kind of be like, you know, maximum this down to like 75, 76, and then just straight up, maybe even less, just right here and straight up. And that's assuming, you know, everything else works out in the crypto market. Okay. If no more questions, my throat really hurts. So I think we might call it a night. Went for a bit over around an hour, I would say, because we started a little bit late. Technical difficulties as always. Next week, I will hopefully have a new green screen. So I'll have like a cool background rather than this crappy green screen that doesn't work and that you're actually seeing and it's not operating as a real green screen. And yeah, hopefully my throat doesn't hurt. And we have, but at least I'll be in Thailand still. So I will have this wonderful camera, wonderful lighting, microphone, my whole setup, unlike in Japan where I was literally just using my laptop and the microphone I brought did not work. So the audio quality was kind of crappy sometimes and I wasn't in the best like location. Anyway, you know, be careful in the market in the next couple of days. I think it's at an extremely pivotal point. I will give an update in my signal room over the weekend, maybe on Saturday or Sunday, on where I think the S&P is going based on Friday's close. Right now, I'm kind of just in a wait and see to evaluate what is. I mean, we're at as I said, a pivotal point. So I have to wait and see where the market closes on Friday to say, okay, is the bear theory still intact, or is it over? Or did the market do nothing and we're still in that questioning phase? So, I'll try to give updates in my signal room, and, generally just watch out for my hashtag trading signals, baby powder, little nudges in the lounge from time to time. And you can check out what I think throughout the week. Try to update every 2 to 3 days. And then if not, well, not if not, but anyway, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Be safe. Don't sit on the computer all weekend. Crypto market really doesn't trade that much on the weekend. Mostly it's liquidity hunting. Put the computer away, go spend time with your family, go out and exercise, so on and so forth. Just enjoy your weekend, unwind. Trading can be very stressful. It helps to unwind and journal on the weekends to kind of just get it out of your system and then reset on Monday. Yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys have, again, an amazing weekend, and I will see you next time. All right. Bye, everybody.